Hello, hello, hello everyone. My name is Christy Archer of Christy Archer Designs, and this is my Vlogmas-ish slash podcast number 2. And today's date is Monday, December 10th, I think. Somewhere around there. Today is Monday. And I am excited to share some fun things with you today. I just finished baking my second loaf of bread for the day. I have to do a boring loaf. I say boring, it's still delicious, but just a plain loaf of bread. And then my favorite is, it's bread with, sorry, I keep looking at it. It's bread with Kalamata Olives and sun-dried tomatoes and cheddar cheese. And I'll pop in some video of that when I do my Vlogmas type footage, B-roll. But it is delicious, and I am going to actually pop that recipe in this in the description box for you. I do highly recommend it, and is something you can do in a day. I use rapid yeast, dry yeast, and you let it rise for 3 hours and pop it in the oven, and 40 minutes later you are eating some good bread. I literally could just make a whole meal out of this, which is usually what I do. So I will share that with you. But into the normal stuff. If you are new here, welcome. Sorry for the wordy intro. I'm not normally that wordy. This is, again, my knitting podcast. I do share occasionally other crafty things. So if you enjoy this type of podcasting, I would love to have you subscribe. And if you enjoy this podcast, please take a quick second and give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot and doesn't cost you a thing. This is a non-ad or ad-free, I should say, podcast, and I try to keep them as short as I possibly can, and I try to come back weekly. If you are not new here, yay, I'm so glad you have come back to hang out with me. I do have a few fun things to share. So with that said, I'm going to jump right in. I have 2 finished objects. I'm coming a little bit later in the day. I think it's like 4:15 right now, which is later. So hopefully the lighting will not get too bad. We generally start going dark about 4:30. Oh, and if you're new here, I am in Southern California in the desert. So, and the air just kicked on. Hopefully, I'm going to try to talk a little louder so I can fight the air conditioner. Okay, so I am super excited to share my first finished object. I love the way this has turned out. It has not been blocked, and it's been done for quite a few days, so I've had plenty of time to block it, but I don't think I'm going to block it until it's time to wash it because it looks perfectly fine the way it is. This is a cardigan pattern that I am working on, so if you have any interest in testing this, either comment below or sign up for my newsletters. And when you sign up for my newsletters, make sure you have 3 different options. You can sign up for podcast alerts, you can sign up for new pattern alerts, or you can sign up for pattern testing. So yeah, just let me know what your preference is, and that is that. So this is my everyday cardigan, and it is a raglan construction top down, and it has a deep V shaping to it, and I could not be happier with this. I'm holding 2 yarns together. This is Knit Picks woolen cotton, which is 50 cotton, 50 wool, and I'm using Knit Picks Aloft, which is a silk mohair. And the colorways, the woolen cotton is something about Dolly. I can't remember. It's like Dolly Heather, something like that. I can't remember. And then the gray that I used is either, it's not slate. Maybe it is slate. I can't remember. I'll pop the information either up here on the screen or in the description box below. So yes, I am super thrilled. If you're not new here, you know that the button band was my, I had to pause for a little bit to decide what I wanted to do on the button band. Originally, I had planned on doing a double knit button band, but with this yarn, it just wasn't the right button band. Wasn't the right construction for this particular yarn combo. So I decided to go with a picked up 1x1 rib button band. And then then I had to make decisions on what type of buttonholes, and I'm very, very, very pleased with the buttonholes that I've ended up with. So let me show you that now. I have done a 3-row buttonhole, a 3-row buttonhole, which is larger than a standard yarn over, but basically it's a yarn over buttonhole. You just take 3 rows to complete it, so it makes it larger, but it still gives a nice invisible buttonhole, which is what I wanted. I didn't want a really long, very visible buttonhole. So once this is blocked, again, I'm not too concerned about it, but you can tell it's nearly invisible. So I'm just very, very pleased with that. All of the 1x1 is finished with an Italian bind off. I think last time I kept saying a tubular. I don't know why. There is a difference. If you are not familiar or do not know that there is a difference between a tubular bind off and an Italian bind off, I highly recommend you doing the research on that. Italian bind off is way easier and still gives, to me, it gives a better finish, because if you're not doing your tension right on a tubular bind off, it can end up kind of wavy on the ends, and the tubular, I'm sorry, the Italian bind off just gives a really nice finish. So yeah, that is my everyday cardigan. Now, I bought buttons, and I love the buttons. I bought them online, and they're handmade ceramic buttons. The color's not quite what, and I had a feeling when I ordered them that the color wasn't going to be right. But I thought I'd take a chance, and if they didn't work, I'll make another cardigan, which is exactly what I'm going to do. These are by Dry Goods, DRYE Goods. They have an Etsy shop. I will definitely link them below. I highly recommend them. Very affordable, beautiful selection. As a matter of fact, I am going to go back and buy some white ones that I was debating between the two of them. I'm going to go back and buy those for this and just use these on another cardigan, but they are they're just amazing. I love them. And obviously I got 3 of them. So they are so cute, and they're made with nice big holes, so you can definitely get a yarn needle through them. So that's nice. But as you can tell, the color, or maybe you can't tell. Yeah, you can tell. The color, it's gray, but she even says in the description that it has a greenish undertone to it. And I'm sure it's because you're doing gray on top of ceramic, which has a yellow to it. And so the sheerness kind of shows through, which gives it a little bit of a green hue. She has some white ones that I'm going to go back and get that are super cute. So this is a brighter white button that I just have left over, but you can get the idea. So I think the white will work really well. I should have just ordered both of them at the same time. I wasn't thinking, and could have used the others, whichever ones I chose not to use, which is what I should have done. But anyway, love, 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 has just the right amount of excess ease. I'm so, so happy with it. Cannot wait to get the new buttons in so that I can start. Actually, I've already worn it without the buttons because most of the time I just wear my cardigans open anyway. So that is my everyday cardigan, and it will come out sometime around then, probably end of January, beginning of February. Depends on, it may be the end of February, depends on how fast I can get testers for that. So yes, very, very pleased with that. My second finished object is, it's finished. It is blocked, sort of. And I'll explain that in a second. I'm hoping it won't show, but I finished it last night with just one of the arm, the 1x1 rib on the arm, but I still have the other arm and the neck binding to do. So everything has been blocked except for the left armhole and the neck binding. But I'm thinking it'll be okay. I knew I wanted it blocked for the podcast. So this is the Stockholm Slipover V-neck version by Petite Knit. And I'm so excited to have this done because it's blue. And if you don't know me at all, blue is my favorite color. I completely forgot to mention my hair color has changed, and it is still in the works. I'll get into that later. So yes, Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit. This is the second size. I think my last one, I'm going to do the first size because it's still just a little bit wider than I would like. But I love it. Yay! This is done out of Cascade 220 Sport non-superwash in the colorway West Point Heather. Love it. Held together with Lang Alpaca Super Light in the colorway Jean Blue or Blue Jean. I can't remember. I've talked about it several times. So I think last week I had just cast on and done a couple of rows. So yes, I feel very accomplished having this completely done and finally making the final decisions on the everyday cardigan and getting that finished. I did do some modifications, which I have talked about before. Instead of doing make one right and make one left for my increases, I have done lifted increases. Instead of doing the increases on the first stitch, I knit 2 stitches, and then I use the leg furthest away from the edge. So if I am doing my increase, say on this right edge, I would knit 2, and then I would use the leg, the right leg of the 3rd stitch to do my increase. And I'll show you what that looks like. So you get that nice curve and you get that nice little detail. I just like that better than doing my increases right on the edge. I have also done a split hem. And I did my hem this time. Last time I did about a 1/2 inch split hem. This one is 1.5 inches, and I do like that better. So that is done, and I am ready to wear it. I didn't talk about needles on either one of those, but basically the cardigan is a worsted weight, and the vest is a DK-ish weight. So whatever needles you would need to get the gauge for those. Okay, I did get a little more work done on my, I did do a few more rounds on my Midnight Dancer sock. And tried it on, and I think this one's gonna be too big too. I want these Midnight Dancer socks so bad. It's by Sari Nordland. I want them so bad, but I just cannot seem to get the right yarn, the right size, blah, blah, blah. So I think I'm gonna have to rip these out again and do less stitches. I thought with this being a lighter weight yarn that I would be okay with the 64 stitches. I know that I normally am a 60 stitch on socks. So I should have just gone with what I know. So I do think I'm gonna have to rip this out. I have this sock, or this pair of socks, when I finally get them right, oh, I'm gonna be so happy, and I'm going to wear them like crazy, and I'm going to make quite a few of them in different colors. I think it's just getting through finding the right stitch number, the right yarn type. But this is Knit Pick Stroll in colorway Cobblestone. So hopefully by my next podcast, I will finally have the correct stitch count, and I know I've found the right yarn. So that's where those stand. And if you want to see the yarn band, so that's that. I am also still occasionally working on my Sticks and Stones cardigan. I think I have a little bit more done since my last podcast. And now that my everyday cardigan is done and my Stockholm slipover is done, this will be my focus knit. So I think I've done a little bit more since the last time I showed it. I hope I have. I hope I'm not showing you the same thing. But Sticks and Stones is one of my patterns. I'll pop up what it looks like. And yeah, I just realized I'm starving. I haven't eaten today. I'm telling you wrong. I did have a slice of the first loaf of bread I cooked. But boy, am I hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this one a little short. Well, I'm almost done anyway. So anyway, Sticks and Stones, hope to have that finished by the next podcast. I may be casting on some hats for Christmas, but I really want to get some of these things that I have on the needles off the needles before I put more things on. So I think I'm gonna finish that up, and then I'll cast on some hats for the holidays. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. I was going to share some fabric, but with me being hungry, I think I'm gonna wait and just sign off for today, and I will share some of my sewing projects on my next Vlogmas / podcast. So thank you for stopping by. I hope your holiday season, whatever you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you are just having a wonderful time of year. I hope you guys are enjoying, hopefully, some cooler weather. We are still not. We're still in the 80s Fahrenheit. I think we are slowly going down into the 70s as our highs during the day, which is nice. So I put on, oh, this is my Anchors sweater that I had finished last time, and excited to wear that, though I am burning up. So yeah, I think that's it for today, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.